Hello electric car lovers, in this channel I cover all the latest tech news surrounding electric cars. I cover the background, feel and drive, the current selling price, and the specs and engineering that go into making each car. If you have an electric car that you'd like me to cover, let me know in the comments below. In today's video, I'm introducing Mercedes-Benz's high-tech EV, the EQS. I'll be covering the most important features compared to its rivals, the Tesla Model S. Oh, and one more thing before I start. So a police officer is called out to the scene where a Mercedes is wrapped around a tree. He said, well, I guess that's the way the Mercedes bends. Okay, now back to the video. Did you know the Mercedes-Benz name is a combination of two names, Mercedes Jelinek and Carl Benz? Jelinek named the new cars after his daughter, Mercedes Jelinek, whose Spanish name translates to mercy. When you see a Mercedes-Benz with an S badge on the back, you know you're in for premium luxury mode. It implies more aggressive styling and performance on AMG automobiles like the C63S and unequaled, delicate elegance on Mercedes-Benz models like the S580 and GLS. In the Mercedes-Benz EQS 2022, up to the high standards that the letter S implies. That's why we're trying to figure out in this video. It's officially known as EQS by Mercedes EQ, by the car maker. Mercedes-Benz has a limited experience with fully electric cars, with just the smart electric drive and B-Class EVs, as well as the overseas-only EQC crossover to its credit. The EQS will be many Americans' first Mercedes EV, so it had better be good enough to wear the three-pointed star. Much along conjured the venerable S-Class in electric form. The flagship electric vehicle is offered in two versions, a rear-drive EQS 450 Plus and an all-wheel drive EQS 580 4MATIC. Design and engineering. First impressions will decide whether buying or not for some folks. Because it's a straightforward shape and elegant detailing, the EQS is a completely new design. The false grille panel is adorned with hundreds of tiny star patterns, creating a virtual night sky around the center logo, while the coiled LED tail light parts resemble an old light bulb, a brilliant tribute to the general public's first interaction with electricity. The form also helps the EQS glide through the air with minimum resistance, having a drag coefficient of 0.20, which is the best in the market. The sedan is also deceptively huge, giving it a majestic presence befitting a flagship. The Mercedes EQS is a huge limousine-like car that was previewed with the Vision EQS concept at the Frankfurt Motor Show in September 2019. On the exterior, it has the same distinctive features as the rest of the EQ line, including a distinctive light signature and a solid grille. The Mercedes EQS is 5.22 meters long, with a width of 1.93 meters and a length of 1.51 meters for a wheelbase of 3.21 meters. The trunk has a capacity of 610 liters, and when the back seat is folded down, it expands to 1,770 liters. There is no trunk at the front. The vehicle should be primarily made of durable materials. The wood comes from local forests. For the concept car, the decorative fabrics are made from plastic waste from the sea, and the microfiber fabrics from polythene terephthalate bottles. Maple wood was used in the dashboard. The body is made of a mixture of steel, aluminum, and carbon materials. In the production model, 80% of secondary steel is used for the bodywork. Battery cells must be partially produced from 100% renewable energy in a CO2 neutral process. The individual cells are transformed into accumulators by the subsidiary Daimler Deutsche Akkumotive. The sportier AMG version, which will be presented in September 2021, will essentially replace the electric sedan's design. The two will be distinguished by very minor aerodynamic modifications and distinctive rims. Interior. Matt Watson from CarWow says that it's the most high-tech car that Mercedes has ever made. The EQS is significantly less contentious on the inside. Under a huge piece of curved glass, the optional hyperscreen hides three separate monitors. A 12.3-inch digital instrument cluster sits in front of the driver, and the primary infotainment system is a 17.7-inch OLED display. A zero-layer overlays audio, controls, and suggested programs over a full-screen map display, adorning the center screen with a new M-Bux software. The Hyperscreen's third component is a 12.3-inch passenger touchscreen that runs the old M-Bux and allows the co-pilot to propose locations, alter seat and climate settings, and listen to music over Bluetooth headphones. The system learns your pattern over time and offers route or phone calls depending on your schedule, placing recommended tiles on the aforementioned zero layer. Pixel fanatics will enjoy this techno-wizardry MBUX has a physical climate control panel and a very easy touchscreen interface for audio and comfort settings, so even Ludities will have no trouble getting used to it. However, even without considering the number of screens, the EQS is a fantastic luxury car. The inside of the EQS is well built, with comfortable leather, decent plastics, and a few tasteful splashes of wood and metal accent. There's enough room for up to 5 people. Mercedes hasn't released exact figures yet, but it seems that you'd be just as comfortable in the Aries sedan as you'd be in the S-Class, with plenty of legroom in all 4 outboard seats, with a spacious central bin and an under-console cubby. There's plenty of room to store your belongings. Mercedes claims that a funk isn't essential, with 22 cubic feet of luggage room beneath the massive liftgate, while the Tesla Model S has up to 31.6 cubic feet split between a 26.3 cube cargo hold and a 5.3 cube frunk. When the back seats of the EQS are folded down, there is 63 cubic feet of cargo capacity. The EQS boasts an admirably crafted inside, when with soft leather, quality plastics, and a few tasteful splashes of wood and metal trim, helping to highlight its notional relationship to the S-Class. The only flaw is the flimsy internal doorknobs. Everything else seems excellent. In conclusion, the EQS seems far more solidly constructed than the cheap-feeling Tesla Model S, while also providing more room than the lavishly furnished but claustrophobic Porsche Taycan. Traditional Mercedes shoppers will feel right at home in the EQ flagship's plush, inviting interior. Performance. The comfy and roomy interior of the large Mercedes EV foreshadows the remainder of the performance. The standard EQS 450 model, which is powered by a single rear motor and produces 245 kW and 416 pound-feet, accelerates to 60 mph in a claimed 5.9 seconds. The EQS 450 promises to have little trouble keeping up the interstate traffic, comfortably maintaining a drama-free 80 mph, a tribute to the instant torque reaction of any electric engine. The EQS is peaceful and calm, whereas the silent propulsion of other electric cars might actually accentuate other sensory invasions. According to journalists that test drove it, Mercedes lets the driver choose the degree of braking, regeneration, and the brakes are tough to modulate between recuperation and friction in either the maximum or usual setting. Furthermore, when coasting with regen engaged, the brake pedal travels lower all by itself, so it's never in the same spot you left it. On the curving route, they could only work the brakes smoothly if engine recuperation was totally off. Battery life. Has a 107.8 kilowatt-hour battery concealed beneath the floor, giving both the 450 and 580 trims a WLTP certified range of 485 miles, which is likely a touch ambitious. Expect an EPA range of 400 miles, or so when it's assessed by the feds. Are you perplexed by the plus symbol in the 450's name? It's an extended range battery, which is a pointless addition in the United States because they won't be able to get the normal 90 kWh unit meant for other regions. If you merely need the electrical equivalent of a splash and dash, a 200 kilowatt DC fast charger can charge the battery from 10% to 80% in 31 minutes, giving you 180 miles of range in 15 minutes. The car will not come with an at-home wall box, but a commercially available 9.6 kW AC charger can completely charge the battery in 11 hours and 15 minutes. Prices and model range. Mercedes EQ officials said that it will likely follow the S-Class price structure, so I expect the EQS 450 to start at $110,000 and rise to around $120,000 for an EQS 580 4MATIC, the $84,990 Tesla Model S long range, and the $129,990 Tesla Model S Plaid, both of which provide stronger performance but inferior interior quality, are included in those figures. The Taycan 4S outfitted with the Performance Battery Plus is Porsche's closest pricing counterpart to the Mercedes. The Taycan 4S gains recognition not for long-distance driving but for exceptional backroads performance. Despite its aggressive dimensions, limiting rear passenger capacity significantly more than both the Tesla and the EQS. The Lucid Air, on the other hand, starts at $131,500 for the premium Grand Touring model. It will undoubtedly be Mercedes' strongest competitor for the wallets of forward-thinking luxury shoppers, with a comparable design factor and an unofficial range estimate of 500 miles. Despite this, the EQS benefits from its manufacturer's decades of expertise creating luxury sedans, a pedigree that comes through on every drive. Its smooth powertrain and incredibly comfy interior make it feel up to the challenge of a lengthy journey. The EQS is jam-packed with a user-friendly technology. It's also quite practical with SUV-like load and passenger room. The list of accolades continues on and on, with flaws emerging infrequently. The Mercedes EQS may appear futuristic on the surface, but it has all the DNA that the last letter in its name suggests. This wraps up my review of the Mercedes-Benz EQS. Let me know what you think of it. Thank you for sticking around to the very end of this video. Nothing helps out my channel more than y'all watching the entire video. These videos take a long time to make and are a labor of love. If you'd like to see my channel grow, please help spread the word, and until next time, remember, the best experiences aren't about where you end up, but who you're lucky enough to be on the journey with.